What's crack-a-lackin'? Welcome in to My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Show.
Welcome into episode 37, everyone. Today's episode is going to be my week 2 QB rankings, all teams, top 32. Now, I hope you guys got your fantasy football matchups won last week. Remember, I told you that Anthony Richardson is going to be QB1 on the season if he stays healthy. And man, my guy looks like a freak. Before we dive into it here, guys, make sure you smash that like. Make sure you smash that subscribe. Any questions you guys have, fantasy football, anything, drop them in the comments. I am here to help you win your championships. And let's dive into my rankings for week 2, guys. So here is my board, guys. You are going to see a ballers tier. These are my must-start quarterbacks, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, tier 5. I'm going to try and give you every single quarterback matchups, thoughts, I think, and we're going to look at last week as well. Now, at the bottom there, you're going to see Jordan Love, obviously major injury on Friday night against the Eagles. He's out 3 to 4 weeks. We don't know if it's 3 to 4 yet, so I'm just going to say that. Russell Wilson traveled. We don't know if he's going to start. I'd rather see Justin Fields keep the job after beating Atlanta, but I'm going to keep Russell Wilson. And Drake May is obviously stuck behind Jacoby Brissett after the Patriots get a crazy win over the Bengals. Congrats to the Patriots. I did not see that coming. And we're going to start off here with the baller tier. Number 1, guys, the guy I just talked about right now, and it is going to be Anthony Richardson. Now, he just was quarterback 4 last week, was in a battle with the Texans. And did you see the throw that this man made off his back foot, 65 yards in the air, launched it to Alex Pierce? This is why this man is my quarterback 1 on the season. He just has to stay healthy. Now, you're going to get the Green Bay defense here, and you're also going to get Green Bay without Jordan Love. So this could be an absolute 30, 35-point game here from Anthony Richardson in this game because they're going to have so much volume with the ball that it's going to be insanity here. And I think Jonathan Taylor has a big game here as well. Saquon Barkley just ate the Eagles up on Friday night. I love these two as smash plays, but I'll get to JT in my running back video next. Number 2 in the baller tier is going to be Josh Allen. He gets the Thursday night football at Miami. And I don't care what anyone says. I ranked him number 1 last week. He was the number 1 quarterback. This man literally can backpack a team by himself. He's a video game type quarterback, diving over linemen, reaching for the end zone, passes everywhere. A little concerning about Dalton Kincaid. I'll get to him in my tight end video as well. But Josh Allen, man, this guy was just overlooked like the Bills lost Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis. Like he can't carry a team. It's absolutely bananas. Josh Allen is my quarterback 2 on the week. My quarterback 3 in the baller tier heading into this week is going to be Jalen Hurts. It's a little tougher matchup here, but I don't really know how to predict it. So they get the Falcons. They're going to be at home versus the Falcons. Now, if you look at the Steelers-Falcons game last week, it was Justin Fields playing quarterback. You know, first look at the Steelers offense. That was a defensive grind fest, all field goals. The Atlanta defense is better than people think. But again, you have Jalen Hurts, you have Kellen Moore, you have Saquon Barkley, Devonta Smith. They're going to get Monday night, which is going to be awesome. If you have any Eagles players, you know, you save your matchup till the end. And Jalen Hurts is going to be my QB3 on the week. My number 4 QB, man, I keep telling people here, Lamar Jackson, I've been saying this for years. The man has just bad passing mechanics, but it doesn't matter. He can literally run for 100 yards. He looks slimmer. He looks faster. The Thursday night game versus the Chiefs, he was flying around 100-plus rushing yards. Passing game was terrible. I know Isaiah Likely was a foot out of the end zone, you know, to tie the game, send it to OT. They get the Raiders at home. The Raiders just got mopped up by the Chargers. The Ravens should feast in this game. The only thing I'm worried about here with Lamar Jackson, and like I thought about dropping him lower, is the Ravens could just blow him out. And it could just become a run fest. But I'm still going to keep him 4 because this guy could explode in a half and just destroy fantasy. My number 5 is sticking with the same game from last week's Patrick Mahomes. So the Ravens, when the Ravens played the Chiefs, those are 2 top 10 defenses. Patrick Mahomes' numbers were down. They still got the win. You saw Rashee Rice become the wide receiver 1, obviously, which I didn't think would happen like that. Travis Kelce was bracketed. He became a non-factor. I'm curious to see if defenses keep that up all year with him. But now you get Cincy, and Cincy just lost to the Bengals. I mean, I don't know what is going on with the Bengals. The Chiefs should mop this game up. The Bengals defense is very bad. This could be a 20, 25, 30-point game from Mahomes here, and it's a smash start. Number 6 is crazy. Jaden Daniels, guys. I did not expect this man to be QB3 on the week, drop 28.2 points and no passing yards. You're looking at Lamar Jackson 2.0 right here with how this man runs the football. It's absolutely insane. Now the Commanders this week are going to get the New York Giants. And you just saw Sam Darnold annihilate the New York Giants. I mean, this is going to be... I hope he can find Terry McLaurin more, though, because I'm a little worried about that. I mean, Terry McLaurin saw nothing last week, and it really, really drove me a little nuts. But I'm going to keep Jaden Daniels as my QB6 in the baller tier, and this man is a must-start fantasy fit with his legs every single week. Heading down to tier 1, guys, and it's going to be Kyler Murray. And Kyler Murray was really, really confusing to me week 1. I thought it would be a better performance versus the Buffalo Bills, and he only passed for 162 yards, right? You didn't see Marvin Harrison do anything. You didn't see Michael Wilson do anything. You saw Greg Dortch do it all. You saw Trey McBride see massive targets and not do a lot with it. It was more of a James Conner show. Now you get the LA Rams defense, who is one of the league worst. I thought about putting him in a baller tier, but I had to drop him down because I didn't like the production I saw in week 1. I am going to keep him as my QB7 on the week. And this should be a shootout game. Both these are the two worst defenses statistically before the season started between the Rams and the Cardinals. Now, the Rams showed up against the Lions. That's McVay. That's great coaching all around. I got to give him that. But, I mean, this game should be flying points everywhere. This should be a must-start for all players, and Kyler Murray should absolutely feast this week. Number 8 is going to be Tua Tagovailoa, and he absolutely impressed me against Jacksonville. It was a late showing, like it was a slow start for them as well. He threw for the most passing yards in the NFL in week 1 with 338 yards. Now you're going to get the Thursday night game against Buffalo, like I said, with Josh Allen, and they just gave up 30 points to the Cardinals. So this should be a shootout game again here. It is going to be on a short week. It is looking like Mostert, A-Chan are a little banged up right now. I think they're going to play. They're going to be out there. This is going to be a full-fledged shoot-'em game, and I think it's going to be one of the highest-scoring Thursday night games of the week because I thought Buffalo's defense was better, and they're obviously not. Now, number 9 here, I'm taking a shot here. Joe Burrow. I don't know what the hell happened with Joe Burrow last week. He only threw for 164 pass yards against the Patriots, and they lost the game. Like 500,000 people are out of their eliminator pools already because they took the Bengals to beat the Patriots, and they just did not do it. Jamar Chase was locked up by Gonzalez a little bit. It seemed like off the holdout, little sketch there. He played in the slot. He saw, 6 targets of the slot. That was very impressive to look at. Now you get the Kansas City Chiefs. This defense is no joke. Their offense is going to light the Bengals up. And this is why I have Joe Burrow so high, because they're going to have to pass every single game to stay in every single game. And this should be a smash Joe Burrow. I hope T. Higgins is back out there. And this should be a smash Joe Burrow play. I mean, he owns the Chiefs. If you look at anything, this could be his big coming out party where they come back and they beat the Chiefs and everyone gets back on the Bengals, bandwagon, if you want to say that. I like him a lot this week, and he's going to be my QB9 on the week. Number 10 is a tough one here, guys. It is C.J. Stroud, and the Bears, they get Chicago at home, but the Bears defense is no joke, man. They just scored 24 points last week. They just lit up Tennessee on Will Levis. He looked like a deer in the headlights. It's going to be a rougher game here for C.J. Stroud. I know he balled out last week. They got the dub over the Colts. He threw for, 230 yards, 2 touchdowns, both to Stephon Diggs. He's going to score points every single week. This is just one of the, I think he's going to average 20 on the year. This is one of his down weeks right here to me, unless, they hit a bomb somewhere, because the Bears defense is really, really nasty, guys. And the Bears defense is going to keep Caleb Williams in every single game. It's crazy to say, but it's just like Justin Fields last year, how they stayed in games versus playoffs teams. They're going to do the same thing again this year. My quarterback 11, and you better move this guy up. Like I just said, Kyler Murray, Matt Stafford. This is the perfect game for the 2 worst defenses to explode onto the scene here. Cooper Kupp absolutely feasted last week. Puka Nacua is on IR, out for 4 weeks. Prayers up to him. That's really shitty. But you're going to have Demarcus Robinson step in. You'll have Jordan Whittington step in. You'll have Tyler Johnson step in. Colby Parkinson looked a little better. And you're going to get a great matchup. I think this is going to be one of the highest scoring games of the week. McVay is a genius. He will figure everything out. Even if their offensive line is busted, he still stayed in the game versus the Lions, man. He's just that good of a coach, and him and Matt Stafford is just a duo you could not avoid any week in fantasy. Number 12, and this was my bold sit-em call last week for quarterbacks, and it was absolute gold, boys. The Cleveland Browns got mopped up, but Dak Prescott only had 11 points. Now you're going to have Dak Prescott versus the New Orleans Saints at home in Dallas. We don't know if Lattimore's going to be out there yet, still a little hampered by injuries. If he's not, CeeDee Lamb is going to go bonkers. Up front, the Saints are very good. The running game for Dallas is going to be stuffed in this game. This is going to be a heavy Brandon Cooks. We're hoping Jake Ferguson can get out there off injury. I have so much Jake Ferguson stock this year. I hope he's out there. If not, Shoemaker will fill in. He could be a waiver wire pickup possibly, but I've seen enough shooting where it doesn't excite me that much. And Dak Prescott, I'm going to keep at my QB 12 this week. Heading down to tier 2 here, it is the Bang Bang Niner game. Big dub Monday Night Football last night versus the Jets with no CMC. Brock Purdy still threw up 231 pass yards versus quote-unquote the two best corners in the league with Ayuk off a holdout. Ayuk looked lost. He was one of my sit-ems. I nailed the Ayuk sit-em. I can't believe people would put him in your lineup after what happened in the offseason the first week. You knew nothing was going to happen with Sauce Gardner out there. You should have listened. If you didn't, you ate the bullet on Ayuk. But Ayuk is going to pick up steam here. Purdy, this offense. I mean, Jordan Mason looked electric. We don't even need CMC out there. They play the Minnesota Vikings. I think they're going to sit CMC at least one more week because I think we know we could roll the Vikings over here. And I say we, obviously, because I'm a diehard Niner fan. And Brock Purdy is going to be my QB 13 this week. And my fear here is, again, that the Niners could just get away from this game and you'll see a lot of Jordan Mason again. And that's the problem why I ranks Purdy lower, because I don't think he's going to need to pass that heavy to beat the Vikings. Quarterback number 14, and man, he was on my stardom everywhere you looked. Baker, Brown, Mayfield. They did play the Commanders. The Commanders gave up the most points to quarterbacks, wide receivers last season, so we knew this was a smash play. Now Baker, Brown, Mayfield, and I say Baker, Brown, Mayfield because I just like saying it, is going up in a matchup this week that is going to get him in a little more trouble than last week. He's going to get the Detroit Lions. Their defense is nasty, but Matt Stafford just threw for 317 yards against Detroit. And if you watch the Bucs offense, you have Mike Evans, you have Godwin. Kate Otten was not involved. You saw Bucky, you saw Rashad White. Everything looked good. It was the Commanders given. Now they're going to be at Detroit, but if Detroit can show up like they think they can and they're not playing against McVay, this should be a high-scoring game. Detroit should roll over the Tampa D, and Baker should have to throw to keep up here. And Baker may be a startable QB in one QB leagues with how good he looked, guys. I was wrong here on that. I ranked him about 22nd on the season. I might have to eat that one. Baker looks a lot better than I thought, and he may just be rejuvenated Baker Brown Mayfield. Quarterback number 15 on the week is going to be Justin Herbert. Now, Justin Herbert just absolutely struggled. Quarterback throwing everything versus the Raiders, but the Raiders D is good, guys. You can't overlook that. It's a division game. He only had about 10 or 11 fantasy points, which is not great, or 10.5, whatever it was. But here's what you have to look at. Derek Carr, right? Didn't even play in the end of the game versus the Carolina Panthers. Threw for 200 yards and 3 touchdowns before halftime was over. This could be a massive Justin Herbert game. The Carolina Panthers aren't winning a game. I mean, we thought Dave Canales was going to come in. Bryce Young would be a better quarterback. I'll save that when we get to the Bryce Young ranking. I mean, it was absolutely terrible. You start everyone versus the Panthers. This is a smash play 100%. Quarterback number 16 on the week. We're going to stick with the Detroit Lions Bucs game here. Jared Goff kind of had an up and down game with 217 yards and a touchdown. Jameson Williams looked amazing. I'll get to him in my wide receiver video. They won the game in overtime. He only threw for 217 yards. But again, you're playing against McVay, and he just can strategize how to keep, possession on the field. Like if you watch Monday Night Football last night, people are panicking about the Jets, right? The Niners controlled the whole clock. That's what the Rams tried to do with the Lions. Now the Lions are going to get the Bucs. This should be a smash Jared Goff play here. My quarterback 17 on the week, and I hope he's starting, man, is Justin Fields. And if he gets the job this week, which he should, and then the team should be riding around him, the locker room should be around him. They beat the Falcons, who had playoff aspiration hopes. I did not think that Pittsburgh would win that game. The defense looked electric. TJ Watt looks like a god. And Justin Fields now gets the Denver Broncos. If he can keep this job right here, he will run away with it for the season because they're going to beat the Broncos. The Broncos look terrible. I've been telling you all year, don't start any Broncos. Besides Cortland Sutton, but we'll get to that later. The Broncos are the worst. I mean, they're so bad. It's ridiculous. And if Justin Fields can get this game, he's a 20-point start here to me with his rushing upside. And here's the thing: George Pickens is going to draw Pat Surtain, and Pat Surtain just locked up DK Metcalf. So I mean, this could be a full Justin Fields rushing psychotic game here. I mean, I'm really excited to see if they start him over Fields for week 2 or over Russell Wilson for week 2, and what's going to happen here with Pittsburgh. My quarterback 18, man, he was disappointing in week 1. I thought it would be a shootout with Jacksonville and Miami, and Trevor Lawrence just shit the bed with 162 yards. Now you get the Cleveland Browns, who I just told you last week to sit Dak Prescott against them. He only threw for 179 yards against the Cleveland Browns defense. Do you think Trevor Lawrence is going to ball out versus the Cleveland Browns defense if he couldn't beat Miami's? I don't. I dropped him down to tier 2 at the bottom at my 18th ranked QB. And I almost put him lower, guys. This is a very, very tough matchup for Trevor Lawrence. Heading down to tier 3 here, it is going to be Kirk Cousins. And like I said, in this Falcons-Steelers game, I knew this would be a defensive grind fest. Both the defenses are amazing. And he got Pittsburgh steel curtain, man. It's his first game off his, Achilles tear. He's 35 years old. He's older. I did say temper expectations with him. I ranked him lower last week in my quarterback rankings than most people. And you got to see why. Now you're going to get the Philadelphia Eagles game here, right? And Jordan Love just lit him up for 260, right? And they were balling before half, so it became a different type game here. And you're going to get Monday night here. And the Eagles secondary is very, very, very young, and they are very, very beatable. So I expect Drake London to bounce back. I expect Kyle Pitts to see more volume. I know Kyle Pitts found the end zone on a busted play. You're going to see Bijan explode here as well. And this is going to be an awesome Monday night game to watch. And people are like down on the Falcons. That was a top freaking 3 defense in Pittsburgh, man. Do not be, running away from Kirk Cousins or running away from the Falcons because they had a bad game. That defense is no joke. And I'm still there with Kirk Cousins, and I like starting him in like a 1 quarterback league this week still. And people are sleeping on it. Heading down to number 20, Aaron Rodgers, and this is a crazy thing to me right here in this game. Like, people are like, "Oh, the Jets suck. The Jets didn't do this. Garrett Wilson didn't go off, and Breece Hall had a decent game." Dude, the 49ers, again, like the Kirk Cousins matchup, the 49ers are a top 3 defense, maybe top 5 if you want to say that. And the 49ers controlled the entire clock in this game. They ran double the plays the Jets did. Aaron Rodgers was barely out there, guys. Now you're going to get the Tennessee Titans. Oh, my God. I know that Caleb Williams struggled against the Titans, but he's a rookie, and I knew he was going to struggle against the Titans. I am worried about Garrett Wilson in this game. We'll talk about that in the wide receiver video. Ladarius Sneed is nasty. He locks up everyone. But this should be a game where the Jets defense bounces back. The opportunities are going to be there more offensively. Aaron Rodgers and the offense will be clicking more in this game. Going at San Fran on Monday night, 40 years old off an Achilles, is not ideal. I told you the Niners would smash them, and they blew them out without CMC. This is going to be a Jets bounce-back game, and everyone's going to get back on board with Aaron Rodgers and Breece Hall in fantasy after this game this week against the Titans. Number 21, Geno Smith. And Geno played Denver, and he only threw for 170 and a touchdown. It was more of a run game show, and Geno didn't look good, guys. He was missing passes. I know they got the win. I'm going to keep him here this week, at this rank right now. They get the New England Patriots, and this should have been a smash play for Joe Burrow, but he didn't do it. I mean, Joe Burrow threw for 164 against the Pats D, but the Pats also controlled the clock a lot with Ramondre Stevenson, just like the Niners. I don't think that's going to happen against Seattle. Seattle's defense with Mike McDonald is way better than the Bengals, and they're going to stop them, and you're going to see more volume opportunity here. And I hope I see a better game here from Geno, because I was saying all year I want to see Sam Howell take this job and just light it up. I mean, not to throw any shade at Geno, I just want to see how he plays this week, but I am going to keep him at quarterback 21. Quarterback 22, guys. My number 2 fit quarterback was Caleb Williams. Everyone was on the hype train thinking that rookies are going to just come in and ball out. Him and Jaden Daniels both looked bad passing, but Jaden Daniels can run like a monster, so that's why I have him in the top tier. Caleb Williams is inaccurate, guys. Keenan Allen had 11 targets and 4 receptions. He was missing everywhere. And he gets the Houston Texans now. The Houston Texans up front are nasty, guys. Like super, super good defense he's going up here in this game. You're going to see Sunday Night Football, and everyone's going to get to see this game now. And this is going to be a rough game for Caleb Williams. I don't care what anyone says. They're going to have to score to keep up. They might get garbage points in this game. But like I said, the Bears defense is also good as well. They'll keep them in the game too. But I don't think they're going to keep up with the Texans. And I think Caleb Williams, again, is going to be on my sit-em as another quarterback to keep off your board this week in 1 QB leagues. Number 23, I was wrong here, guys. I missed this big time. I thought the Panthers would be better. I thought they'd be improved. Derek Carr came out and just absolutely destroyed fantasy. He was QB6, and he didn't even play in the fourth quarter. I mean, he could have been QB1. The game was out of hand. It was 40 to freaking 0 at halftime, or 40 to 3. It was absolutely atrocious. The Saints, Clint Kubiak and the new offense, they look a lot better. I expect Olave to get more involved. Kamara also had 20 points at half and didn't play. Olave didn't play down the stretch, so he had 2 points, and everyone's freaking out. Go buy low right now on Chris Olave if people think that that's a game script, man. You go get this guy right now. Derek Carr looked a lot better than I thought he would. I thought he was on a hot seat. I thought it'd be trouble. Big win for them against the Carolina Panthers. And now, this week, you're going to have Derek Carr at the Dallas Cowboys. Now, the Dallas Cowboys just did lock up Deshaun Watson, but Deshaun Watson looked terrible. The Browns offense looked terrible. Saints looked great. Saints can score in this game. They can keep up. You'll have Diggs on Olave. Yeah, that's fine. Bland is still out. The Cowboys defense under Zimmer did look better. I got to give them that, but I think this is going to be a shootout game here, and I think Carr is a startable quarterback here. Sketchy because the Cowboys defense is good. That's why I'm keeping him down. If it was a plus matchup, Carr looked a lot better than I thought. I got to give him a shout out. You balled out, Derek Carr. Good stuff, man. Moving down to tier 4 here, we're getting into the nitty gritty, and I just talked about him. Deshaun Watson, man. Deshaun Watson, whew, did he look bad in week 1? I hope it's just a week 1 blunder. He now gets the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the Jacksonville Jaguars played damn good against a insane Miami Dolphins offense. So I'm not thrilled about Deshaun Watson this week at all. I thought the Jags secondary was one of the worst. Yeah, Tyreek Hill got a bomb late that saved the Dolphins game. Besides that, they played insanely good. I'm very, very worried about what I've seen from Deshaun Watson. He only threw for 169 yards, and a lot of it was in garbage time, guys. I mean, they were down. Jerry Jeudy got a touchdown late. That was, nothing looked good for the Browns at all. I had high aspirations for them, and now I am falling off a cliff with them. Quarterback we're running into tier 4, number 2 is going to be Sam Darnold. I'm going to rank him quarterback 25 this week. And this man showed up and showed out. And everyone tried to tell me the New York Giants front is nasty. Their top 7 is so good. They're going to get after Sam Darnold. He lit him up like no other, man. Sam Darnold was a damn near perfect QBR. 208 yards, 2 touchdowns, threw a pick late that cost his QBR if we're talking about perfect QBR. But he looked amazing. Addison is now down. It's going to be Jettas galore, man. He is going to feast in this game. I'm all in. You got the 49ers. They might get thrashed, but they're gonna have to pass heavy. Like if you just watched Breece Hall, the running game was non-existent. And they had a better offensive line than the Vikings. You're gonna see Aaron Jones really struggle here. You're going to see Ty Chandler get a couple catches out the backfield. It's going to be a Jettas show all the way, running back, pass catching all the way. And Sam Darnold could be, I mean, it's a super flex start, but I don't see a 1 QB start against the Niners defense. But I think he's going to see a lot of yards because they're going to have to play catch up here big time. Jesus, number 26. I can't believe this guy. I'm still even ranking him in the top 30. Danny Dimes, man. I've been trying to tell you guys all year. It's just terrible. I've been saying that he's going to kill Malik Neighbors. He is. This guy just sucks at quarterback, but I still have to rank him over the other ones because he has a rushing upside, okay? And it's ugly. So he threw for 186 yards, all garbage time. It was all garbage time stats for Wan'Dale Robinson, Malik Neighbors. Their first half was absolutely atrocious. They got blown out of the water. I don't like anything with the New York Giants for the rest of this season. I don't want to even, dude, I'm even afraid to start Neighbors, man. And I thought his volume would be through the roof. But think about this. I made a call before the season that Wan'Dale Robinson would see more targets than Malik Neighbors. And everyone called me crazy. Looked what happened in game 1. 12 targets for Wan'Dale Robinson. Your boy's mind is a weapon. Number 28 was rough. Will Levis. But like I said here, he played the Chicago Bears defense. You got to give him a little bit of a leeway here because the Chicago Bears defense, guys, is nasty. And Will Levis threw for the least yards in the NFL with 127. That was Caleb Williams with 96. Will Levis only threw for 127 yards, 2 picks. The pick 6 to the house really hurt the Titans in this game. I think he will be better. I mean, he gets a better matchup this week against the Jets. You just saw, Brock Purdy shred him. I thought the Jets secondary was great. I'm not going to say better matchup. I'm going to say that Brock Purdy can do that because of Shanahan and the system and the players around him. It's going to be a struggle for Will Levis against the Jets. Let's be honest. Number 29 is going to be, and we're finally here. I wanted to talk about this. Bryce Young. I missed so far out on this. I thought that Dave Canales, who's coming in and saved Geno's career and, saved Baker Mayfield's career, would come in and help Bryce Young. Honestly, I don't think it's a week 1 overreaction here. I think Bryce Young is just bad, guys. I mean, he looked terrible. He's missing throws all over the place. Only rushed for like 11 yards, too. I thought he'd rush for more than that. It was ugly, man. He threw for 161 yards, 2 picks. Very, very bad. It doesn't get any better this week. I mean, you're getting the Chargers, who just mopped up Gardner Minshew and the Raiders. Man, I'm staying away from Bryce Young at all costs, even in a Superflex. Number 30, we're going to throw in Malik Willis here. And I'm going to say that Malik Willis is going to be better than these next 2 quarterbacks that I'm going to rank below him, purely because he has weapons and they play the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts defense is very, very weak versus the pass, guys. CJ Stroud threw for 234 and 2 touchdowns, but you saw more of a Joe Mixon show down the stretch. And this could be an Aaron Jones smash play game here too as well. But, I mean, you got Jaden Reed, you got Christian Watson, you got both tight ends Musgrave and Kraft. You got Romeo Dobbs. You got Dontavian Wicks, who kind of got involved but missed a couple catches. The weapons are here. I'm going to rank him above Bo Nix because I've been telling you all year. Bo Nix is my 31. And what I'd say about the Broncos, everybody that gave me comments, everyone that gave me shit, Javonte Williams, whatever, done to the Broncos are trash. This offense is unstartable, unwatchable. I can't say anything else. I've been telling you to not start any Broncos, and I hope you listened. Number 32 is Gardner Minshew. This guy is not startable this week. Number 31 is Gardner Minshew. Not startable this week. I don't like the matchup versus the Baltimore Ravens. They held Patrick Mahomes to 14 points. What do you think they're going to do to Gardner Minshew? He's a sit for me. 32, Jacoby Brissett. I'm still in shock that they got this win. They beat the Bengals. I'm just blown away. They're getting a very, very tough matchup with the new Seattle defense and the way they look. Seattle just throttled Bo Nix. Seattle's going to throttle Jacoby Brissett. He's probably going to throw 2 picks in this game. He's just my last ranked quarterback. And typically these bottom 5 and tier 5, these are like super flex, barely dart throws here. And man, I want to see Drake May out there, man. We've seen journeyman Jacoby Brissett for so long. I just want to see Drake May. Please make it happen, Patriots. That is it for my QB2 tiers, guys. I'm going to repeat it here for you guys listening. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple, if you're watching on YouTube, smash that sub button, smash that like button. But here we go. My ballers tier, number 1, Anthony Richardson. Number 2, Josh Allen. Number 3, Jalen Hurts. Number 4, Lamar Jackson. Number 5, Patrick Mahomes. Number 6, Jaden Daniels. Tier 1, Kyler Murray, Tua, Burrow, Stroud, Stafford, Prescott. Tier 2, Purdy, Baker Brown, Mayfield, Justin Herbert, Jared Goff, Justin Fields. I want to see him keep this job, man. Trevor Lawrence. Tier 3, Kirk Cousins, Aaron Rodgers, Geno Smith, Caleb Williams, Derek Carr. Tier 4, Deshaun Watson, Sam Darnold, Daniel Jones, Will Levis. Tier 5, these are the rough ones: Bryce Young, Malik Willis, Bo Nix, Gardner Minshew, Jacoby Brissett. Thank you guys for rocking with me today. That is the end of episode 37. That is my full QB rankings. Make sure you guys smash that like. Make sure you smash that subscription. Turn that bell on so you know when I'm live. I will be live before every single game. I have a couple shows coming up this week as well with other guests. If you guys have any fantasy football comments, whatever it is, drop them in the comments. I will try to help you with whatever it is heading into week 2. And guys, I'm going to try and get all my rankings videos out today. So I'm going to try and get my running back, wide receiver, tight end, and defense and kickers all out in one day so you have it all before Thursday. I'm trying to be that content creator for you guys to have all my stuff out to you before the Thursday night kickoff so there's no questions. And that's it for me, man. I'll catch you guys in the next video. SleezBall out.